Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Well, on the soft side is the black hole Kindle, we've got Yoto32. Well, on top left side is the gray sky Lash, we have a foreign name. This is a 3-base map, one airport. Both players do start with a black on the other side. Since there's also, these two colors probably pretty similar, let's change one, here we go. Just to differentiate the two. Well, I'll try to keep the colors up between the two players. Let's just say black hole, which is more of a really dark gray, versus also a gray, is a little bit too gray with each other. But back to mention the map, you do have both sides, but does provide some reconnaissance, so and most players have to go for a recon there. Artillery can help clean up the black boat and the pipe scenes there. If you pull up this pipe scene, you get stealth insertion. Go for here, you get slow advance, but self insertion. And pull up this pipe scene, then the airport can also be self insertion. But I've never seen this pipe scene destroyed. And since Pythagorean theorem does not exist in this game, it's just going this way as it goes this way for aircraft. Just generally a good idea just to shell the pipe scenes and shell the black boat. You have a tank now deployed on the field by both sides. Kindle's push forward with a recon to reconnoiter the area. I like that word, reconnoiter. Tank, and infantry. Kindle has double recon to reconnoiter the area, though this one will be struck by a tank here. It is on top of a missile platform, so should be able to live. Kindle versus Lash does offer a bit of an interesting matchup. Both these COs do provide firepower bonuses if they're on top of urbanized terrain, plus 40% versus plus 30%. Though Lash does a bit more broad of what her firepower bonuses are from. Though still not a good idea for the fight around these urbanized property or on urbanized property, because the urban blight will just simply flip the meaning of that terrain. Taking 3 damage and then having it next to it gets absolutely nuked. I flip this property there. We do have a artillery piece here. Battlecopter is also advancing as well, so Lash probably should go for anti-air this turn. Does go for anti-air, recon, and infantry. Artillery advances to that city there, hits that and stops the capture there, interrupts this capture, only for a turn in the moment. Tank, anti-air, infantry. Good shot there. Hits the recon twice, hits this one once, takes exclusive damage there, able to easily take it out, and with the lack of defense stars. Tank, infantry. And Lash's anti-air is a little bit too far away. You can make estimates of where anti-airs are if your opponent goes a bit slow. This is where the maximum distance is. You can probably assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So something along this diagonal here will be another spot for a anti-air as well. Sorry. Let's check that battlecopter there. That should be out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Sorry. And the rest of this core tanks is staying out of vision range as well. Let's get some good shots there. Okay, so that infantry unit there, trying to flip that property. Artillery, anti-air, straightforward, double tank, recon, tank. Urban Blight's now available, which could be useful to hit this infantry unit there. Interrupt this capture, we'll also hit this infantry unit there, not to mention the stuff back. But really importantly, it will strike this tank here, so this could be a good Urban Blight turn. Does pop Urban Blight. Does not take out that infantry unit there. Spots that one. Gets a big booster shot there. Went for the wounded one there, which she could have, well, very reliably one-shot the infantry unit there, so one of the 6 health infantry unit out of the way. Does have vision of this tank now. Does hit the black bow with a boosted strike, one-shotting it. Is that tank there? It's that tank there. Can use a boosted shot to hit that recon. And the battlecruiser will follow up, hit this tank there. The battlecruiser will likely go down to this end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. Answer for 94,000 versus 70. Strikes the tank there. Each unit gets struck twice and then thrice. It's that tank. It's the infantry. Battlecopter does go down. We do have almost enough for prime tactics, which it's still a little bit iffy ending your turn onto a city there with prime tactics enabled, because Urban Blight can really do some damage. They'll go from 6 defense stars down to what, minus 30%? Well, that basically 3 defense stars left over, roughly. My offhand math is not that great right now. It would fix to minus 2, a little bit less than 2, so actually it'd be about 4 defense stars. We'll just round it to that. Prime Tactics is now available. Trying to capture that despicably neutral property. Tank, Battlecopter, Infantry, Infantry. Answer of 93,000 versus 69,000. Does capture property for popping it. Double defense stars. Finish off that tank there. A little bit boosted strike there. It's that one there. Effectively, they're all the tanks on top of planes are on force. Interrupts the capture, of course. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. Honestly, not too many engagements there. 80,000 versus now 74. Oh, pops Urban Blight once she got enough power charge. Which, I'm not sure what it really did there. Interrupts this capture a little bit. Lash into Kindle is a rough matchup for Lash. I'll say Lash is, in my opinion, not a great CO in general. I think she's also pretty lowly rated. Kindle's relatively highly rated. Because, honestly, Lash's power shouldn't be costing 4 stars. It's probably 2-star power. It could be, while her superpowers really should be costing 6 stars in total rather than 7 stars. I think just Lash is just, her capabilities is just not great. But I think in the dual strikes, her power at least gave her half defense stars increase, if I remember correctly. Because if her power costs 2 stars, then we'll probably see actually a bit more recon play from Lash as a unique way. Because then recons could just be splitting across the map and just be fun. I always like to give my sense about balance, but I understand why they don't want to balance the game, because, one, if trying to stay more true to the cartridge is quite understandable. I do disagree with people saying that not every CO has to be good or usable, and that sort of logic. I sort of disagree with that. But as long as the tier system right now in place, it does make sense. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. As opposed to when it comes to the power, like not great power and okay superpower, Kindle has an excellent power and a good superpower. Which is a pretty good combo to have. Oh, got a medium tank, recon, and infantry. Medium tank's interesting. This map is a bit large, but of course medium tanks are far cheaper than neo tanks. And with the, 26 property capture as a reference point, you do have trouble deploying neo tanks, so a little bit less properties. If there's a handful of 2 more props per player, then it would be easy to deploy neo tanks, but not necessarily this. Yep, it's a card simulator right now, but there is plans for rebalance mode in the future once the back end slash front end split is complete. That would make sense. That could be quite nice. Plus, when it comes to the cartridge version, like which version of the cartridges, after all, there are 3 Advanced Wars you can always pull from. And Dual Strike's balance changes are not exactly grabbed too often. I think it would be nice for Eagle's Lightning Strike from Dual Strike to be used, as well as Sonya's day-to-day passive of help nullify terrain effects. Would be interesting. Interior Infantry and Recon. Also got a property flip there. Interrupts the capture. Interior pulls back. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. There's one to count of Battlecopters. And Lash doesn't have any interiors now or Battlecopters left to engage this Battlecopter, so this Battlecopter will start reigning supreme. Interior tank. $104,000 ending versus 86. Good strike there. Does take out a tank there. There's a boost strike there. Thinks the missile platform. Missile platforms is a usable terrain for Lash. Kindle can only use as defense. Who would have thought that very plain, flat piece of property is a great defensive platform spot? To be honest, think about it. The missile platform providing 3 defense stores makes no sense. Should be more similar to a road. Captures the stick down there. It's the Battlecopter there. Both players have the superpower. If Kindle were to pop her superpower, she would have 20 properties, so plus 60% firepower, which is a pretty decent amount. Her superpower is less effective on maps with less properties, so this may be a bit more of a leaning towards the Urban Blight, to say the least. Tank infantry. Infantry unit hits twice. Neo-tank infantry. 120,000, 104 across day-to-day, so that's still pretty even day-to-day differences. Both players at 19,000 income. Hits the tank there, hits the tank down there, pops the Urban Blight. So less loss of attempts and firepower there. Interrupts this capture. Hits the Neo tank back there, so that's going to be a bit of repairs, but that's about it. Let's hit this tank over here as well. Not a great Urban Blight, but if your power charge maxed out, you might just want to get it going. Tank infantry. Got another prime tactics activated there. I see a good property to push off of. Meteor strike Battlecopter. It's the artillery. Medium tank does not take out the regular tank there. It's the artillery once again. Trying to capture that property now. Has 6 defense stars. Interior infantry. It's 107,000. Kindle starts turn 95. Even if she doesn't get Urban Blight, there's nothing there to help support her to engage this medium tank. Our artillery advances back to the city. Hits the recon twice. Recon hits infantry twice, or once. Battlecopter strikes the regular tank there. Has 2 defense stars. Urban Blight is now available, which could be used to interrupt this capture. Does get deployed in the field, hits a lot of infantry across the field, hits the backline stuff there. Neotech does not get struck. Hits the anti-air. Probably could have gone hit that anti-air first before popping the superpower. I don't think there was any real benefits of attacking after the superpower as opposed to before. Got a little bit extra power charge going. Right now she's down to 950 funds on her power charge. And Meme Tank can park itself on top of the city there, now does not have to worry about Urban Blight either. Does take up Battle Copter there. Tank infantry. That was a good trap there. Stops the capture there. Anti-air takes out the infantry in there. There's a vision of both the artillery and the Neo tank. Lots of properties being captured now. Battlecopter, recon, infantry. Insert 107 versus 87. Both players have 19,000 income still. Lash does have 22,000, so she could eye for a Neo tank, but be a base skips. Gets good hits there, out of range of the artillery. Lash overall has a pretty good field control over here. Up here, Kindle technically has more field control, but it's just one tank versus a lot of infantry. Does look at the ETA there with the 5 health artillery. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Recon does strike the artillery. It's on top of a comm tower, which does come to urbanized terrain, but gets struck twice. And Lash's artillery does advance into the woods. Tank, infantry. It's the recon there. It's the tank, or recon. Does strike the artillery piece there. Running low on fuel, 15 fuel remains, so it won't be able to run too far. Lash does have prime tactics available, which will probably not be useful. All the tracked vehicles are not slowed down, and she doesn't have too many wheeled vehicles. Just have to worry about crossing forests pretty much at this point in time. Recon, artillery. Does pop the Urban Blight there, hits this infantry unit there, has one capture progress remaining. Gets course up backline and stuff, hits another infantry unit there, so overall did a good job not being on top of properties. Though this once the city gets cleared out, then it'd be a plus 8% firepower into this one here, such from this medium tank. Medium tank actually should be in range of the Neo tank if it has a more line of sight. Hits that infantry unit there, boost strike on that tank there, one shots it. Now the medium tank can strike the Neo tank or the medium tank there. The Neo tank is on top of 3 defense stars, just takes out that tank there. Puts some artillery behind the tank, the medium tank there, trying to use it as bait. Medium tank infantry and commits base skip. 130,000 even versus 98 and 500. Tank gets struck twice. Oh, have enough for a prime tactics. Was not paying attention to that. 4 defense stars, plus 40% firepower, minus 10%, which would be 36%. Tank, anti-air, infantry. Did call the number 100,000 for 113. Of course, this Neo tank is a range of urbanized property of that artillery, which should do a fair amount of damage there, though it does have double defense stars, so plus 40% firepower, of course minus health, versus 40% for the defense. So it's somewhat equaled out. Strikes the Neo tank twice. Does get some good kills down south for a counter-attack. Artillery, tank. Medium tank does strike right a tank there with boosters strike from missile platform. Lots of kills there. Does hit the artillery, taking it out. Battlecopter does get a strike there as well. Of course, Neo tank's off of 4, so is not in vision range at the moment. Does look at the tank there. Tank does go down. Battlecopters are striking the Neo tank. Tank infantry. Recon tank infantry. Does take out those units. Pretty good counterattack there. Medium tank strikes regular tank there. We'll put some machine gun rounds to it, finishing it off. Stops the capture there. Urban Blight is now available for terrain tactics as well. Neo tank's down to 2 health. There's medium tanks down to 6 health. And Urban Blight would have been particularly effective versus the Neo tank, of course. Of course, that's with our cast of vision. Let's look at the Battlecopter. Neo tank infantry. Recon does strike the infantry unit. Hits the anti-air there. Hits the artillery there. Gets finished off. Infantry, anti-air, and tank. Medium tank gets a boost strike there on the medium tank, though it wasn't very healthy. Now has low health, low fuel, and low ammo. It's just low on everything. Probably not long for this world. Or the next. Tank, infantry, and recon. High Society could be deployed out this turn. It would provide, what, plus 66% firepower, which is pretty good. Booster strike there. Regular strike there. But she's not eyeing for the High Society. Gains good damage on the front line. She didn't really need the extra firepower even from Urban Blight, let alone from the High Society. Goes for a Neo tank of her own and a pair of infantry units there. High Society could actually be very useful. The fact that she didn't pop her power or superpower, a High Society could help her really hit this Neo tank. They'll double defense stars, it doesn't matter. Like right there. Artillery's in a hidden position in range of that Neo tank. If I was on top of the city there, I'd get plus 200% firepower. She may pop High Society to get the artillery to really hit that Neo tank. And then maybe hit it with a medium tank there. That may actually be a good idea. Some preliminary shots there. Does not finish it off. Took 3 shots there. Thanks to extra double defense stars. And though she's not going to be deploying it. Oh, pops Urban Blight. I think, yeah, I honestly sort of think High Society there could have been very good. Oh, then again, we do have an idea of how much the value opponent has. Right now it's 115 for 73 plus for day-to-day, though Lash didn't play out much last turn either, because worried about Urban Blight. So, but Lash is still about 2 turns behind. Infantry, artillery, Battlecopter. $33,000. She could eye for. I hope she can get out of Black Bomb and Stealth. Both are available. Though right now, just a regular bomber would be just good enough. That was moving the Neo tank back onto the HQ, which could be struck by the Urban Blight. I mentioned everything back there, so this is definitely a good turn for Urban Blight if she goes for it. She will not be able to see any of that. Battlecopter does strike there. Medium tank strikes there as well. Even for the regular tank shot there, does finish it off entirely. Spots the Neo tank there, which probably should warrant the High Society Urban Blight. Did not pop it though. And does hit the resign button there. This is great saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay.